Hi, I'm Peter Giblett from Voice of Niagara. Just to let you know a little bit about me, I'm a former IT director and I've managed large budgets, including ones that are 3 or 4 times the City of Niagara Falls budget. Retired in 2007, been a small business owner since then, and even for my sins run as a taxi driver around this city. Just wanted to talk to you about Voice of Niagara and a few of the things that we've been doing. Since the beginning of 2019, we created Voice of Niagara, and we've made great strides in the following areas: ensuring that local issues are highlighted, providing an active discussion platform, and ensuring and helping ensure the council listens to local people's needs. Our goal, really, to highlight those issues. On the local front, speak to many people in this city and you'll find that there's a common complaint. Nobody is listening to their problems. At Voice of Niagara, that is why we set this up. We're listening to your problems. We are working with many groups locally to ensure the voice of residents is being heard on a wide set of issues. Maybe you haven't had any issues or complaints about the city as yet. Maybe you have. Maybe you've had things that haven't been listened to. Well, it's time for things to change. If you have questions, ask us. We may not know the answer, but we can help get it. We know people around who can help in certain areas. In 2018, Adam Hyde, Christian Mancuso, and Paul Calamere started a group on Facebook called the Niagara Falls Voters Political Action Committee. And the idea of the group was to generate interest in voting at the municipal elections. The local press accredited this group with bringing a 3% rise in the vote in the city. So we actually have made a difference in voicing concerns around the city. So Voice of Niagara was born from the need for more open discussion and works very closely with Niagara Falls Voters Political Action Committee, and two really are joined at the hip. Facebook group continues today, having nearly 4,000 members. 4,000 members. That's a good milestone. That's a good amount of people who are interested in what's going on at City Hall. It's growing in popularity. There are regular discussions about a range of topics. Take a look for yourself at the group. The link is included here on this page. If you want to get more involved, then please join the group. It's free. The link is supplied here, and the group is available for your thoughts and ideas about change in our local community. It's even with the federal election coming up, there are going to be many issues discussed at the federal level that will have a local bearing. So feel free to discuss those. But one of the things you do have to remember is there's a lot of people with a lot of different viewpoints in the group, and that you should be cognizant of the differences and use civil language, please. Become a member, invite your neighbour, and there is room for all viewpoints. City Chief Administrative Officer Ken Todd made a comment a couple of weeks ago about this being the first time anybody has ever asked questions or demanded justifications for elements of the city budget. Well, I think this is where change is happening. We need to be asking those questions from now on all the way into the future. There is no stopping this approach. We must always ask questions about city spending. I've discussed the budget with Paul Lemire on 4680Q on several occasions, and it's the driver behind this video. Residents have been raising questions. The fact that there are so many questions is a good thing. Slowly but surely, the residents' voices are being heard. We are gaining the council's attention, and that's a good thing. At this stage, it's about dialogue. People should expect dialogue with City Hall. Remember, we pay the councillor's salary. We have the right to hire and fire them. On any issue, we should be able to ask questions and get answers. And that's an important aspect about what we're doing here. Specifically about the budget. Asking questions is getting results. Not all about budget cuts, because the city needs to spend things where the city needs to spend things. And it's about making sure that we spend wisely. Diane Munro, for example, asked a question about the cost of an accessibility ramp at Willoughby Hall. And for those of you who don't know where Willoughby Hall is, it's on the rural part of Niagara Falls. It's south of Chippewa on Sodom Road, towards the edge of the city. It's an old hall built in the 1850s, and the question is that there are seniors using the hall, and they do not have access to it. And walking up 3 or 4 steps can be hard for certain seniors. So the question has been not whether we should have a ramp. I think most people are agreed on the need for that. The question was, is $87,000 the right amount that the city should be paying for that ramp? And I think that same question is raising its head in many areas. City Hall landscaping, for example. I've asked a question about that on a number of occasions. Councillor Laurie Lococo has informed me that now the project has been reduced from its original $350,000 ask to $25,000 for 2019, and that is to landscape around the former police building, which is now going to house city workers. Some new city extension is going out into that hall, and that's a good thing. Question about the $1.25 million bill for landscaping at the Blackburn Parkway Industrial Park. Now, many people in this city won't know where that is, and that's on off Montrose Road, south of the old Niagara Square, and it's a small industrial park with about 4 industrial premises on it. My question is, how do we really need to spend $1.25 million landscaping that? It's been a big question I've had. A third question has been about the proposed fire hall west of the QEW on Lundy's Lane. And a big concern there is that residents are not protected in the case of fire. So that's a valuable, it's a valuable thing to happen. We should be protecting those residents, because with the possibility of traffic squeeze across any of the points where you need to cross the QEW, that becomes problematic. So that is why that's a whole question on its own that could take a whole big discussion, and is not easy to cover within this. But all of these topics of asking questions about the city budget is an important aspect. I urge you to get involved. Ask what your area, what your area needs, but does anybody at City Hall know what your area needs? Is the city doing anything about those problems that you have locally? If you don't have the courage to ask City Hall the questions, and I understand why there are people that don't have the don't have the courage to stand up and ask a question. That can be quite frightening, quite daunting. There is somebody here, there is always somebody else in the city who can assist. And that's the point of Voice of Niagara and the Niagara Falls Voters Political Action Committee. I say, get involved, inform yourself about what is going on in this city, and actually don't leave it to city councillors. Look at look at the record of individual city councillors. If you have a question, email them. See who answers, see who doesn't. That's the sort of thing that we need to be in the public consciousness over the next 4 years. Because if we're going to change anything about how the city reacts to residents, then that starts now.